Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Anne of Green Gables, the English dub provided by me. Yeah, you all know the spiel, blah, 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 blah. We already know how this goes.
Let's do it.
So let's just start, might as well at this point, so we can see what happens next. So, 3, 2, 1, click. So yeah, hopefully Anne will had at the very least a good sleep, considering the circumstances.
Yes, a good sleep before she goes back to the orphanage.
I can imagine, considering she has just arrived from the UK, I get the idea she suffers from some jet lag.
Actually, she didn't arrive from the UK. She arrived from the mainland, because this is now she's in the Isle of Prince Edward.
Ah, okay.
Oh wait, was she always from Canada?
Yes, Jova. This is a Canadian story of Canadian characters. That's it.
And I thought originally that she hailed from the UK and emigrated towards Canada.
No. She's Canadian. That's simple. Every character in this story is a native Canadian. There's not even any foreign characters except for Anne with an E, but that's another topic that I don't want to discuss today.
Sounds like it's fun.
No, it's not.
Later. Well. To be fair, if I'm correct, unless I'm mistaken, I don't think you've seen that. But who knows?
I can trust your opinion based on what you said so far.
Well, we'll see. Well, remember too, like we have disagreed on even that one episode of Late in the Unicorn movie and stuff like that. So it's not like
I guess.
True, yeah. It is.
Well, whatever. The point is episode 3, Morning at Green Gables, which happens to be an adaptation of chapter 4 of the book Morning at Green Gables. So yeah.
Wait, Judah's unusually hot.
That remember believes that Canada is, being in the north and everything tends to be cold even in summer.
Yeah. Being hot at this time of year in Canada is actually unusual. They even said that in the first episode. Yep. I guess Canada's weather is a bit weird. I don't know.
Canada's not okay.
Al Gore did try to warn us about global warming.
Obviously, this is not part of the book. This is just a little recap that Takahata decided to throw in there. Because remember, at the time, there were no such thing as home video releases for TV shows. So it was handy to have recaps for every week, basically.
Yeah. Did you have a decent sleep?
Considering the circumstances, considering the circumstances, not too bad, as you're about to see.
Oh my god, it looks like a picture of a tree moving up and down.
That's because it is, darling. That's because it is.
And then Miyazaki's
talking?
And then Miyazaki's like, "Hey, I'm doing my best with the TV budget I have. Okay, I worked very hard to make this. See how pretty my scenery looks. Come on, give me some credit."
I thought it was someone else who drew the scene.
The layout. He was the layout artist, so this kind of thing would actually be his department. Yes. Not an animator, he was the layout artist, according to Anime News Network.
I spent an hour on each individual leaf. You will appreciate this.
I think he also worked, in his early days, worked on the early Toei Magical Girl anime.
Yes.
That ended up being in Little Witchy Mischiefs.
Well, yeah, obviously at the time he didn't have the prestige that he has today. So of course he was just another animator.
Hi, I'm Miyazaki. I'm just another anime.
well, actually, that's how he prefers to be seen as. He doesn't actually like his fame. He has said various times, actually.
Yeah, I think I remember an interview or two where he mentioned that.
Okay, is this episode just going to be look at how pretty my scenery is?
Yes, You will, yes. You will. Well, it's atmosphere. It's really instead of describing the book describes how beautiful Avonlea looks, but of course this is a TV show. We can show you how pretty it looks. And there you go. Now she's imagining herself. She's imagining herself to be inside a forest or something.
Because if this took place in modern day, she'd probably be in like a VR room.
And it's just the same thing. Like, that's exactly the exact same way that Lucy describes in the book. That she taps her shoulder with a hand to break her out of her trance.
Again, it's pretty interesting how so far it genuinely shows how these people read the book word for word and wanted to be as faithful as possible.
That was the whole point of the World Masterpiece Theater series too.
A way for kids to be able to digest stuff better, you know. Again, that's not to say that there's anything wrong with reading a book, but there are obviously people who have preferences between, you know, watching something or reading something.
Well,
also,
not to mention a lot of people like me who grew up with this show went on to read the book anyway. Same thing with End of an E. I mean, for as much as I don't like that show, that show did create a new generation of fans of the book who went on to read the book after the show's cancellation. So it actually helps the books to have stuff like this anyway. Oh, by the way, Shira, since you were very talking about this stuff, the way Marilla deals with Anne in the previous episode, there's actually a line from the book, a narration that actually says something about it. Let me just get it quick. Yeah, eventually I have to jump back to reality.
You can bury your hopes later. Yes, I want to bury your hopes so deep they'll never get out.
By the way, I love the music in this scene. Yeah, see, this is what I was saying in the previous episode. Yeah, your hair looks pretty nice, actually. I don't know why you hate it so much.
I forgot who was the composer again.
I don't. He has a weird name. Whatever. Like.
I'll check this. Don't worry.
Good job, Mr. Composer.
Or Miss Composer.
Or Miss Composer, whoever you are. Oh, here we go.
Sit down on the chair. I've got your hopes and dreams cooking in the pan right now.
Oh, here you go, Shiroi. In the book, right after Marilla says, "It's time you were dressed," there's a line of narration in the book saying, and I quote, "Marilla really did not know how to talk to the child, and her uncomfortable ignorance made her crisp and curt when she did not mean to be." So it really is like I said, Shiroi, like she just doesn't know how to handle this. Like she doesn't mean to be as she comes off. It's just that she doesn't know how to deal with this in any other way. It's just the book literally says her complete ignorance of the affair. Complete ignorance, literally.
There you go. Kuroda Mori has done only movies, mostly. This seems to be his only, series composition.
You already just brought it over here.
The narrator will explain Shira in a moment.
It will be the last one you have. Here.
Here's an interesting twist.
What is this pity?
I get the feeling that this is a test of sorts.
Yes. It's such a good thing that
Honestly,
it's
think
actually
about it. She's the perfect kid for parents.
sure,
I find everything charming, even doing the chores.
It's actually, I actually have a question for you, sure, about that, because the English, the German dub, which is this dub is based on, as well as mine and Tio's dub, changed a bit of the dialogue from the original book. Because in the original book, when she says, "Oh, your brother is such a wonderful person. I like him a lot, and we're kindred spirits and all that stuff," in the book, Marilla replies with, "You're both queer enough, that's for sure." So I don't. So
I think we've already discussed
like,
this.
no, but not on commentary though.
Oh, okay.
Because would you say the English script at the very least, sounds better now because it doesn't have that word, or maybe you think it would still be good to have that word?
No, I mean, when was this dub made?
But this dub was made in the 80s, Shiroi, whereas the book was written in the 19th century. So obviously there was a big time discrepancy.
Strange that they still didn't use it in the 80s. They've said worse.
It sounds
in the
really
80s.
good for an 80s dub.
Yep.
Well, to be fair, Dribs.
Fun fact, I actually... Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Apparently this is a Blu-ray.
Yes, this is from the Blu-ray. However, basically, Java, this mix that I uploaded is they combined the English audio with the Japanese Blu-rays, basically.
I'm wondering if this means that they also cleaned up the audio as well for the Blu-ray quality.
Well, I don't know if the person who, because the English audio is taken from YouTube, as in the official upload of the English episodes, which is based on the original VHS archives that they have from the dub. Maybe they cleaned it up a bit, but, well, there's only so much you can do if you're not a professional studio.
But what I'm saying is, it's good that it doesn't have it, but at the same time, I'm kind of surprised it doesn't have it.
Well, it's because this originates from the German dub, sure, because the German dub did alter some of the dialogue from the book. My guess is they probably thought, nah, let's remove some stuff here and there.
Sorry, for a second there, I thought my copy froze.
That's actually what happens. Dwibs. The book literally describes that as she's about to leave, she freezes, and she's about to explain.
It's a good occasion for actually, sparing cost on animation.
Well, this is something that anime does a lot. Like they
I know. It's I think you yourself told Astro Boy pioneered the technique of having animation tricks to have something animated while being technically a still image.
Well, not necessarily. Well, Osamu Tezuka in general, and I don't know if it was Astro Boy that did it first necessarily, because Astro Boy was actually not his first thing. I still think Astro Boy was one of the very first anime. Oh, it was. It was. I'm just not entirely sure if it was the very first period, so I'll have to look it up first. It's the one that's, of course, regarded as the Mickey Mouse of Japan, of course, but yeah. So there you go. She's basically, her logic is, okay, there's no point in me falling even more in love with Green Gables if I'm not going to stay here anyway. So there you go.
I'm trying to warm you up. You could at least answer.
Its name is Flower.
Oh, I think we should name it Flowey.
No,
No.
it's a terrible name.
No, don't.
Well, if it helps you do it, once again, Marilla agrees with you. I know this point that this ends about to make. And before you ask, no, that's actually what she says in the book as well.
Well, some hidden sass in that child.
That's a thing, Joe. When we see the next episode after this, she's lived a lot more than your typical 11-year-old.
I get the feeling. I cannot figure out how to break her. I must try harder. I mean, I'm talking to myself, so something clearly
what
is
was the
wrong.
line? And no matter what happens, some say her heart grew 3 sizes that day.
All right, and now a song. No, that's the thing, Jova. In the book, she's thinking this. You know, in here, I'm guessing Takata would prefer to be a verbal. What do you say? She's just
She speaks to herself.
she's speaking to herself, as in because I'm guessing he thought that maybe just an inner thought with a filter wouldn't sound good or something. Or maybe they didn't have the means to do that. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
I
They
guess
should
it's
have
weird
turned the
because-
screen black and white, Pedro.
The interesting thing, the interesting thing is that I'm actually glad that they kept the songs instead of having an instrumental track, because just to maintain the style of how the original composer actually intended this to be. All right. In the meantime, what I was trying to say, Shiroi, is I was asking if you if that use of the word of the Q word in that specific instance is actually is it taboo to say it like that today or not? That's what I was asking. Or is it a good thing?
It would be today, yeah.
Okay then. Is it kind of like is it that particular use? Is it in the same way that they do it in the Flintstones lyrics? We'll have a gay all time, or something like that. Is it something similar along those lines?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, for a better example, they used queer in The Nightmare Before Christmas for the same way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Also,
And that was in 93.
Also, Banjo-Kazooie not symbols. So.
I'm guessing the German dub. Again, most of the European dubs, and by extension this dub as well. Most of the Western dubs, in fact, because I think Germany apparently was one of the first, if not the first country outside of Japan to actually dub this, and as a result, most dubs were dub of the German dub. And as a result, a lot of the choices that the German translators made carried on to other dubs, like mine. I already checked Teo's Italian dub, and they also have that same dialogue as well. So basically what you're seeing is an English dub of a German dub of the original Japanese, basically. I'm guessing the German translators didn't have an equivalent of the word, or maybe they just changed it because they didn't like it. I don't know.
I don't know how it goes.
Oh, no, I'm not asking. I'm just trying to guess out loud.
Sure.
So yeah, we have to go talk to Mrs. Spencer and see exactly what the heck happened. Why did they bring us a girl instead of a boy?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Okay, just passing questions, Shiro. Because I never tried it. How is there like potential problems with reheated tea that had been already made?
I guess it depends on the kind of tea.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't reheat green tea, honestly.
Oh God, no.
Like normal builder's tea, as we call it around here sometimes.
All right, listen here.
Probably that would be okay.
Just
I don't know.
Okay.
This is a map because Matthew actually tried to come up with a solution, as he's about to say.
Huh.
Seriously,
Well.
this woman has no soul.
Oh, she
And
does.
her driving is garbage.
No, don't worry, Dwebs. She does. It's just that if it helps you, Dwebs, the episode 4 will address that.
It's more of a circumstance of the time. The situation is such that she has to apply such rigidity.
Not just that. The episode 4 will also explain a lot about why, like her reasoning, because she's trying her best to do the best for the farm, and right now what the farm needs is a boy to help.
Like what I mentioned again, it's the conditions that are right now that cannot allow her the freedom to say, "Oh, we're just." Immediately, at least, to say, we'll just keep her.
Don't get me wrong. I agree with Anne and by extension Lucy that yes, a girl would perfectly fine doing farm work as well. It's just that this was back in the 19th century. Back then, mentalities were much more old-fashioned and, let's face it, dumb. So.
And so Anne left Green Gables, never to come
What
back.
a short series.
Yes.
Well, this was miserable, Pedro. Thank you.
Which leads me to question. Which leads me to question. What are the other 23 episodes going to be like? I'm moping in a chair all day.
And no, that's the thing.
You mean the other 47? Dwebs, actually.
Yes, the thing with Dwebs, she plans her revenge and basically grows up to be a militia commando leading up army conquering Green Gables.
Yeah. Adam.
Listen here.
Adam Green Gables. Something.
Oh.
Very nice to.
But she's doing it anyway because she thrives on mystery.
Well, she doesn't want her brother to be the one to do it.
And despite her being conflicted, she thinks that is the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Even you can enjoy things.
Well, technically, she said, "I'm going to enjoy this straw." She didn't say to Marilla to enjoy it necessarily, but yeah. So there you go, everybody. All right, everybody. In the next episode, yes, the next episode is called Anne's History, which happens to be an adaptation of the chapter 5 of the book, also called Anne's History, which will finally learn exactly how Anne came to be the way she is, and like I was just foreshadowing to Jova earlier. So. Tune in for that eventually. But in the meantime, final thoughts. Shira, you were talking about how miserable this is. Why don't you expand upon that?
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty clear what I'm referring to. But at least she had the decency to not make her brother be the one to take Anne back. So, she's not She's not completely terrible.
And like I said, if it helps you, episode 4 is where Anne. Here's something that both you and Dutz can look forward to. And episode 4 sure is where Anne officially gets tired of her attitude. That's all I'll say.
Oh, okay. That's it.
As for me, yeah, this episode is pretty much let's make Anne miserable. The episode.
Well, this is. Remember, Buzz, you have to understand that this is just a chapter in a long story, so this is not intended to just be seen as just a one story of an episode. But yeah.
Well, I mean, they are in chapters. These stories, in a way.
Sure.
But I mean, it's a good episode overall. It's just the misery stuff.
Remember what this? Sorry.
It's like with all the misery, I'm glad it's not the Stephen King kind. If you know what I mean.
If it helps you, Dweb, starting with episode 5, the happiness meter is going to keep rising consistently, and as Jova can confirm for me, there's going to be a point where we're going to have a friendship song. Am I correct, Jova?
Yes, you're correct.
So don't worry, Shiroi. No, we're gonna perk up. We're gonna talk about how awesome, wonderful life is, and how wonderful friendship is eventually. So don't worry. We're gonna make up for it. So.
All right, sweet.
All right.
Power of friendship.
No, it's not. It's not so much like that, but you'll see. Anyway, Jova.
Yeah, it's a fine episode. Misery included and all that. I get that it's just a chapter and a long running bit here and there. So yeah, it was fine.
All right, Teo.
Pretty much the same. Again, pretty much the same from the previous episodes too. The slow pacing is there to essentially also set things up and make it properly. And as usual, the art is good, the music is good, the acting is a bit better in this episode, I will have to admit. But it's pretty much it for me as well.
Mm-hmm. In the meantime, the one particular note that I want to say specifically because of what Teo was saying. Yeah, it says right here. So it was morning, and yeah, she was bound out of bed, blah, 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 and dropped to her knees, as we saw there. And then right here, Teo, that thing with the hand that I described, and you commented on the faithfulness. Here's the actual line. She knelt there, lost to everything but the loveliness around her, until she was startled by a hand on her shoulder. Marilla had come in unheard by the small dreamer. So there you go. Like you said, like you yourself said, Teo, they read this line in the book, and yeah, we can illustrate this. So there you go. All right. Aside from that, I don't really have any book trivia to offer. This is pretty much an incredibly straightforward adaptation that pretty much just once again just does the chapter straightforwardly with no. It's in the next episode that I will have more interesting trivia to bring up. So tune in for that, everybody.
Yeah.
All right. See ya.